Alrighty, all you Red Dogs, this is the first edition of the Dog Pound in the 2016 season. I am Rick Franceschino, voice of the Red Dogs and starting left fielder, joined by my co-host, Roy Franceschino, and utility player. Roy, it's been a while since we had our last Dog Pound. It's been a real long time, probably a couple months, right?
Yeah, it feels I'm like out of place right now.
Yeah, it feels really weird coming back here, but usually we try to get a preseason Dog Pound out there. Unfortunately, we had some scheduling problems. There's some issues going on with the whole NWO thing, but we are here now, and we want to get you caught up on all of the Red Dogs activities that have happened, or especially our games and some of the news that has dropped upon us in the past couple weeks. So, with that being said, I think the biggest thing coming into this season, the 2016 season, was our joining of the Hickory Hills League. The Red Dogs and the Red Dogs organization felt that we could handle one more league. So in addition to the Orland Park League, the Red Dogs have decided that they were going to join the Hickory Hills League and maybe try to get some of our subs a little bit more playing time, right, Roy? I know you were among the people that was in support of that.
Yeah, I thought it'd be a good opportunity to venture outside of the Orland League, see what some of the other leagues have to offer. I know Keith threw a couple different options out there. We could be playing on different days, but we decided what was best for the team was to stay on Sundays and just pretty much do double headers and play early in the day. In the Hickory Hills League, and going into it, we thought that was going to be kind of like a practice league. They didn't really have too much hype around that league. It was pretty
not at all.
I don't want to call it a joke league,
but let's be honest, that's what we thought the Hickory Hills League was. We figured, guys like Roy, Zimmer, Jeff, a few other guys who don't necessarily play all the time, we're going to be getting some more playing time. And since the season has started, 4 weeks ago, it hasn't occurred to us that that's not the case. The Hickory Hills League is actually a really competitive league. Some would argue that it's more competitive than the Orland Park League. So
I don't know where Keith was getting his intel, but after week 1, we played guys that are about 60 and up. And we got a really obviously impression that this was going to be a joke league when we won like 18-2 or whatever, slaughtered them. But since then, we haven't won a game pretty much.
No.
So
the other four teams are very competitive. They would probably be in the Orland Park League one of the top 3 teams, and they can play ball. Simple as that, folks. They can play ball. I know. Usually when you look at the Southwest Suburban softball leagues, Orland Park is up there in the competitive nature, but the league that everyone talks about is the Oaklawn League. If you're the top softball team in the Southwest suburbs, you go straight to Oaklawn. Now we are thinking we might not be ready yet for Oaklawn. We only got 1-2 championships under our belt in the Orland League. Let's venture out. Let's go to the Hickory Hills League. Get some wins there, and let's go to the Oaklawn League after that. I don't know if we're gonna. I don't know if we're gonna ever make it to the Oaklawn League. Maybe in a couple years, but the Hickory Hills League has been a nice reminder that hey, we are not the best team in the South Chicago suburbs, unfortunately. But it's a learning process. It's a learning process, and we'll get into more of the Hickory Hills games in the future, in future broadcasts, and we will later in this broadcast. We'll mention a couple of the games we had, but that was the biggest news coming in to the 2016 season. As you know, we are of course going to stay in the Orland Park League because we are defending champs. So as far as the Orland League, things have gone pretty well. We have started the year 3-1. Our first loss was against opening day against the Sleepers. So that was a tough game. That was a tough game against the Sleepers. We did not play great softball that game. That's about as much as I can say about that game, Roy.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's as expected. They're one of our rivals. Every time you play them, it's flip a coin 50-50. It's a dogfight. It's a battle. between pretty much us, them, and Manbury Puigs. Pretty much those three teams have separated themselves in the Orland Leagues as regular teams that pretty much are the top three teams and will usually be there at the end. So when you're looking to evaluate your team, that's the teams you want to compare yourself to, at least in the Orland League. So, when we play those two teams, it could go either way.
So, yeah, we kicked off the season with a loss in the Orland Park League, but since then, we're on a 3-game win streak. We beat Foul Balls just this past week, and we beat the Mudheads, I think, 2 weeks ago, but the key win, I think, in those 3 wins was definitely taking down Manbury Puigs. It was actually a tough game. I was not there. I was in Las Vegas for my annual broadcasting conference, so I was not at the game. However, from what I gathered and what I heard, the Red Dogs had a late inning surge offensively, and they were able to overtake the Manbury Puigs in like the 6th or 7th inning. So it was a good comeback win for the boys, and I think that might have been the win that they needed and the win that we needed in order to kind of get our spirits back up and our confidence higher, because I'm going to tell you right now, in those first couple weeks, things have been looking rough, and that's basically due to 2 things that have caused our demise in these first couple weeks. Is one, it's our offensive struggles. It's just been absolutely terrible. And 2 has been our defense. Our defense has been atrocious. I have never seen so many errors made by players that usually are sure-handed and you don't see errors from. And that goes to both of those issues. Our offensive struggles and our defensive struggles played a part in the loss of our doubleheader in the Hickory Hills League 2 weeks ago. Once again, I was not there. That was the week I was in Las Vegas. Roy, I know you were not in attendance for those games, but the 2 games in the Hickory Hills League prior
to that Manbury Puigs.
Yeah, prior to the Manbury Puigs game, those 2 games will go down in history as the worst Red Dogs losses in forever. From what we gathered and what we've heard from the players, offensively, everyone was just atrocious. And the error count, I think, was somewhere upwards of 10 to 15 errors across just the infield alone, just the infield. And I don't want to point any fingers or throw anyone under the bus, but that's just not Red Dog softball. We're not going to win games like that, and it was pretty bad, Roy.
Yeah, I sent the text out to Zimmer, how we did, because I wasn't able to make the games, and he told me we got slaughtered, and I was like, what do you mean? He's like, we lost by like more than 10 runs. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, not even the first game, but both games. So I was like, I could not believe that. I don't know what the hell happened out there.
Now I would like to remind the Red Dog Nation, the last time the Red Dogs got slaughtered in a game was in the Fall League of 2011. So it has been 5 years since the Red Dogs have been slaughtered. And that's just that we had 2 in one game in a span of 2 hours.
Yeah.
We got slaughtered twice.
I mean, I thought we were at the point where there was no team that we could run into that would slaughter us. We're in every game. We're slaughtering the other team, or we're in the game.
Yeah.
So for us to get slaughtered and pretty much never ever be in the game was mind-blowing. Now, again, I haven't seen these 2 teams yet in the Hickory Hills League. We'll probably be seeing them this Sunday, at least one of them, because we have another doubleheader. So me and Rick will see for the first time what these teams really look like. Yeah. But to some of the guys that we talked to, they seem to be the real deal. So they're young, kind of like us, and a little bit older. Most of us in their middle, late 20s. Very cocky, very arrogant, kind of like us. So
maybe a better version of the Red Dogs right now. But yeah, from what I heard, some of those guys were putting it on the street. And if you haven't been to the Hickory Hills League, those fields, the street's about 400 feet from a home plate. So they got some big boppers.
One of them did question the bat,
and there was controversy in the second game surrounding one team. The fact of that, and this goes into another thing that we'll talk about. But apparently, they were only using one bat. And, we've had our issues with teams using illegal bats. This was one of those cases.
I mean, come on, guys.
The entire team using one bat, little fishy.
Yeah.
So what happened was there was a hard line drive right straight back to Pickham, who was pitching. Went off his glove hand, right? As soon as it hits the glove hand, Pickham throws off the glove, starts throwing the F-bomb down, and we're like, uh-oh, what's wrong? As soon as he starts flicking the hand, blood everywhere. Come to find out that Pickham had a fractured finger.
I'm surprised he had any finger left.
Yeah, and especially too on his glove hand. You'd think, okay, maybe if it was his bare hand, you understand, but it was on his glove hand. So the umpire did the right thing. He confiscated the bat of the other team, and they're going to test it now. If that bat comes back that it was enhanced in any way, shape, or form, that team will get banned for 3 years. From the Hickory's Hill League. So we're still waiting back to hear from the league and if that bat was indeed tampered with or not. So there was some issues surrounding the bat. And I'll tell you this, the other team was not happy that the bat got confiscated. So, as a person who's played a lot,
this has been our first rodeo with illegal bats being used.
As a person who has been around the rodeo and has been around the block several times, I would guess that that bat was probably tampered with. But anyways, the win still stands for the opposing team. The Red Dogs lose, and Pickham could not finish the game, obviously due to his fractured finger. So, and this is where things get interesting, Roy. Mangerson was not in the lineup. Pickham was out. Who do we go with the pitch? I guess AJ got the call in to come pitch. He walked a few guys, and they realized, you know what, this isn't working out. And they ended up going to Spy.
The smallest guy on the team.
Spy came in, finished the game well enough for him to start this past week. And I have to say, although we did lose in the Hickory Hills League this past week, Spy pitched a phenomenal game. I tip my hat to him. He came in a role that he's not used to. And he got the job done. Although we lost, it wasn't his fault. That would say was more or less the offense and the defense not getting the job done. But you have to say that if for whatever reason Mangerson or Pickham can't make a game for whatever reason, I feel confident with Spy coming in there.
Yeah, absolutely. I felt the same way.
Mm-hmm.
He did walk, I think, maybe 2 guys. He did walk 1 guy in, which hurt, but. Over 7 innings game, it's not bad at all. He threw a lot of strikes, and pretty much the defense let him down. We lost in extras 10-8. They pretty much didn't score. They scored 1 or 2 runs in 6 or 7 innings, and that's 1 inning they scored probably at least 6 or 7 runs.
And you know what that was around, Roy?
That was because we gave him like 6 outs in the
That was that errors again. The defense coming back to
we
haunt
had
us.
6 solid innings of defense and then 1 bad inning, and pretty much lost us the game. I mean, we did have, we could have had a chance to win the game, obviously in the bottom of 7th to get a run. We couldn't do that either.
No.
But again, we didn't have that 1 atrocious inning on defense. We wouldn't win the game as well.
Exactly.
You can't fault Spy on that.
Nope.
So I think he did a whale of a job as well. Right?
He did. So It's nice to know, at least I feel confident with the fact of the Red Dogs now have potentially 3 starting pitchers. We have Mangerson, Pickham, obviously a 1-2 interchangeable. If for whatever reason those guys can't go, I feel good that Spy can come in from second base, go out to the pitching mound. And let's be honest, with the versatility that we have on the Red Dogs, that second base is easy to fill. There's plenty of guys that can step up and fill up that role. That's one thing I have to say that we're really good with is the players that we have are so versatile in where they can play. I feel confident that we can field the team any day and do a good job at it. However, the Red Dogs' biggest concerns right now is getting those bats turned up and the gloves and the fielding on par because right now they're just not. So we'll have to see how the future weeks go. Otherwise, the Red Dogs have started the year 3-1 in the Orland Park League, 2-3 in the Hickory Hills League. We're going to see if we can improve those in the next couple weeks. Hopefully we can. And we're going to see that where the 2016 season takes us. Hopefully, cross our fingers, we can turn this around and we can add another championship banner. Maybe there or there, depending on if we can turn it around. All right, guys. It's been a pleasure. And as always, keep on barking.